Does this work?
I don't see you. I see your
Oh, wait.
table.
Oh, hold on. Oh, that's right. Here we are.
There
Here we are.
we go. I see you. Wonderful.
Sorry.
You're
Hi.
great. Welcome. I hear this is your first time doing Instagram Live, and you're doing awesome already.
Okay, this is my first time, and I'm not really on Instagram, so believe it or not,
Oh, welcome.
I'm really using Instagram, but thank you.
Welcome, and thank you for choosing Tikva to be the first place you do an Instagram Live with.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of
Such an honor.
course. Of course. And before we even jump in, for those who don't yet know who you are and the wonderful work you do in the fertility space to use pelvic health to educate individuals, can you take a moment to share with the Tikva community the wonderful work you do?
Sure, I would love to. Thank you. So I'm an occupational therapist. I do have a background in pelvic floor health, and I'm a personal trainer. And I also studied yoga. And when I went through my own fertility journey, I was inspired how I can bring yoga to help, especially Jewish women, with their fertility. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up studying yoga and how it pertains to fertility, how it can help with fertility by the different poses that can be used to help reduce stress, how it can be used to bring more circulation to the uterus, and also my little twist that I also do on it, which is adding a mindfulness component and bringing in Torah perspective and meditation and trying to strengthen emunah through that process. So it's really, yoga in itself is a mind-body practice, and I wanted to bring a more Jewish element into it and helping women with fertility.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, and such an important piece. Obviously, there's a tremendous mind-body connection, and so beautiful to do it through the lens of Judaism.
Yes.
Especially in our community, Tikva, we are supporting Jewish individuals and couples facing a fertility journey. So this is the perfect place for us to have this conversation.
Yeah.
And kind of in that spirit, we're about to hit Shavuot, a holiday like most other Jewish holidays that can be very triggering for individuals along the fertility journey, whether they're spending time with family and friends, some of whom or all of whom may have children of their own, and having some mindfulness exercises, tools that they can use to help them through this period of time. So I was hoping that you can walk us through a mindfulness exercise that we can tap into when life starts to feel heavy this time of year. So.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I do understand that struggle and that challenge. And one of the things in yoga is about being very present. And sometimes our minds can go from one place to another. It can go from the past, and we can intend to think of failure. We might go into the future. We might think of what ifs, what I should have, what didn't happen. We think of all these things that can get us caught up into negative mindset, into negative thinking, or looking what maybe other people have and what we're lacking. So what I would invite people to do is, first of all, a great position to be in to do this is called a savasana pose, which is a resting pose where basically you're just lying on your back, but we can just do this in sitting. But if somebody wants to, they can just actually do this on their back and just meditate on it by just relaxing and being in the moment by focusing on your breath. And the reason why I would say to bring your attention to your breath is because your breath is very present. Yeah. And when you can listen to your heartbeat and feel the rise and fall of your chest, then you're becoming very present with the moment instead of letting your mind wander into, what happened in the past or what's going to be in the future or what we don't have, etc. But really being present. And, Hashem's name also has the letters of being very present. Yud Kei Vav Kei, there's Hey Vav Vav Hey, which is being very present. Hashem is in the moment. So learning how to be present can bring our mind away from the what ifs or what I don't have. And when we can, even if we're not in a pose right now, it's about bringing this practice into our everyday setting. So for example, if we practice this on our own, let's say just before we go to bed, practicing being very present. And then let's say there's something that triggers us. So again, going to that place of being very present, let me focus on my breath. Let me focus on where I'm at right here, right now. Let me take Hashem with me. And also invite yourself to think, what if I have this? Maybe I can imagine this for myself, because we can very easily go into the place of, what we don't have and what might not be possible. But why can't we also think of what can be possible, or what we can do for ourselves to try to create a better place of opportunity, to try to set things up for ourselves. But to think of also the gratitude that we have, what we have right here and right now. We have maybe a person, if the person is with a family that's very supportive, that we have our health, that we have a house, that we have whatever it is, being grateful. And then with that, to be present and say, ask for what we need as well. But also imagining, we tend to imagine, it's very easy to imagine what we don't have, but why not allow ourselves to imagine some possibilities as well? So I think that's something that we should learn to also try to give ourselves permission to do, and it can possibly help. But also when we go into that place of negative thinking, to become very present again with ourselves, being grateful for what we do have, and then pushing forward and, seeing what we can do with Hashem, on our side of trying to see what, nobody knows what our journey carries for us. Nobody knows why things happen at certain times, why it might take years for some people and be very easy for others. So everyone has some purpose in this world and has a mission that we have to do. And so we don't know about the timing, but our tefillot are very powerful. And I think that's what we can focus on.
And it's such a beautiful way to frame it, of being able to, sometimes when our brain gets the better of us and starts to race, to really being able to take those deep breaths while lying down, like you described, and just focusing in on the present and trying to, I know that there's also the concept of being able to name 5 things, or your senses, of being able to articulate, just as you described, the things that we do have. And sometimes in that moment where our heart is feeling that longing for everything we don't have, that the way that we tap into praying for that is by first using the structure of prayer, right? The structure of prayer is first gratitude, then asking, and then once again being grateful. And so you're using that as the framework for this meditation, of first being able to ground ourselves in what we're appreciative for, and then through that lens being able to say, this is what I'm missing.
Exactly.
This is what I so deeply long for. I wish to be having a child that I can nurture and care for and celebrate future holidays with. And using that lens, you can both ground yourself as you described, but also create the perfect structure for the prayer that hopefully will bring us closer to that reality.
Right, and it works more in our favor, right, than just going to a negative place that doesn't really work in our favor. And I understand the challenge. I'm not saying this lightly at all, because I went through it myself. So I understand this. It's something that I had to do a lot of work on as well. And I wish I had also more guidance. And that's what this workshop that I'll be doing is about, because it's a seven weeks of really empowering women to try to shift their mindset, but to stack the cards in our favor of trying to optimize the chances of building a family, which we really want.
Which is so important and so beautiful, and we'll be sure to share it in stories so that others can learn about it and hopefully benefit from this wonderful resource that you're creating.
Yeah, thank you. And the 10% of all the proceeds also goes to Yesh Tikva. It's something, Yesh Tikva is something that's like very important to me and is very close to me. The organization, all that you do for everyone out there. So everything that I do also for fertility is something that goes towards Yesh Tikva, who I'm very grateful for.
Thank you so much. That truly means a lot. And we're going to work together to support individuals along this journey and hopefully lift them through this and hold them, because at the end of the day, it's community and it's connection that helps us get through every moment. Because as you said at the beginning, there's no promises. We're not God.
Right.
We don't know what the outcome is, but when we have the right people, as you described, and the right resources, we have the tools that we need to get through our journeys. And
Right.
so we're going to create those together and make sure that no one has to face this alone, right?
Yes, exactly. So well said.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for
Thank
everything that you're
you.
doing. Thank you for teaching us this wonderful mindfulness exercise. I think that just the way you framed it, so beautiful and so important. Being able to ground ourselves, find that piece of gratitude, then being able to ask for what we so desperately
Exactly.
need and want, and then reframing back into the gratitude so that that grounded experience using the structure of prayer really helps us take that pause when life feels too much.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful Chag.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Bye.